Would the ushers make sure the doors are open? Lighting the flames of faith is a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as Reverend Barbara DeFebo lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And now Diane King Van will help us deepen that awareness of unity, of centeredness, of oneness, and peace.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. Ooh. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We're so glad you're with us this morning. We're going to start with a sing-along song, old standard that we love here in New Thought, which is I Love Myself the Way I Am.
It's not to love.
And here we go.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Yes, give yourselves a hand. And I'd like to introduce our musicians this morning. We have Bill Dixon back from Chicago on bass. And we have our guest drummer this morning, Chris Berry. Ed Cusby on guitar. Yeah. Our song leaders this morning are Wade and Kimberly Wooldridge. I'm Diane King over here on the keys. And our fabulous soloist helping us out this morning is Michael Garamoni. So please stand and join us on one more sing-along. Put a little love in your heart. Here we go.
Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see.
Time to meet and greet your neighbors. Your friends, say howdy.
Good morning to you. How you be? Good morning. How you be? Doing great. The world, hello. Morning.
And work your way on back because we've got one more verse and chorus to do.
sweet. And
Here we go. Another day.
another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. See you short.
Seat, welcome back to your very favorite Sunday place. Well, it's mine. All right, so here we find ourselves. What a great song. We're going to take that love, that energy, that beauty, and go within. Recognizing and knowing that going within is a beautiful, loving, exquisite experience, where we know and recognize the presence of the divine. Everywhere present in its entirety, it is that joy. It is love. It is infinite possibility. It encompasses all, for it is all. And that divine expression knows only to express that which it is. Therefore, there is only that one. Beauty, peace, creativity, and joy. Everything that I know to be true of God is true of life and is true of my life, for I am one but one. As I know that I am one with that one, I recognize and know that each one of us is a part of that beautiful energy of love. That love which has called us forth into existence, into giving of ourselves, and into this center this morning. That love which is prompting every action and every thought. And so I know we come here together this morning to celebrate the infinite, to return to love, to recognize the love in my heart is the love in your heart is the love in our heart, that there is no separation. And so I let love lead the way as I lean into this morning, into this beautiful service, as I allow the music and the words and the energy of those around to uplift, to make new, to inspire. And so I am delighted to know this truth. My heart is filled with gratitude and appreciation for what we know is true, that love leads the way. And so I simply give praise and thanks, knowing it is already done in the mind of God and absolutely perfectly unfolding throughout this entire morning and throughout the life of each one of us. Please join me in knowing this is the truth by saying, and so it is. All right, my friends, I get to tell you about some of the exciting things that are going on this morning. That one right there. Reverend Michael is here to start us off.
Good morning. So it's a new month and you have your new handout, your take-home flyer. There's a lot of activities going on at this center. Take this and put it on your refrigerator like I told you last month. Put it on this month. And lots of activities going on. Visit the website also. We have Conscious Connections. We'll be here immediately after service, facilitated today by Dave Friedman. This Wednesday, we have a special Potluck Wednesday with our very own Reverend Judy Chapman doing a Tay's service. Potluck begins at 5:45. Bring your favorite dish and stay for our favorite dish.
Ooh. So with that in mind, there it is.
He's new.
With that in mind, mark your calendars for our choir show. It's coming up June 12th. I hear a rumor that we also might have it on June 13th. It's always a fabulous show, so mark your calendar for June 12th. Coming right up this week is Tuesday, May 5th is the men's group. And then next week on May 20th, actually that's 2 weeks, is the parent forum. So just mark your calendar for all of these great things that are coming up.
Classes, classes, classes. We all have class. So we have new class starting Monday, May 11th at 7 o'clock with Meditation is More Than You Think. We have Exploring Roots continuing through May 19th. There are signups. I will be at the table after service, so you can sign up there.
These beautiful flowers, did you notice them? They're gorgeous. They're from Genevieve Harvey, celebrating her birthday, which is May 9th. Happy birthday, Genevieve. There she is.
Yay!
And now over to the KCSL Entertainment Desk and correspondent Darla Feathersby.
Thank you, Patty. Today, we have a special guest here to talk about his latest project. You know him as a motivational speaker, TV and video personality, author of 12 books on healthy cooking and eating, and star of Sweatin' with the Oldies exercise videos. Please help me welcome Richard Simmons.
Hey, 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 hey. Don't just sit there. Let's move our butts. Come on.
Come on. Richard, we have limited time here today, so let's try to focus.
Okay. Oh my God, I love this outfit. This is
Richard, this is a new look for you, what with the goatee and all.
Yeah, I think it makes me look super manly, don't you?
Richard, your latest project, it's called something like Gourmets for God. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I am so tickled to be the spokesperson for this wonderful idea. It's like incredibly simple and incredibly fun. Someone hosts a party, and there's food, and we have an auction, and you bid on who gets to go to the party.
And the host gets to keep the money?
No, silly, of course not. It's a fundraiser for the center.
Oh, I see. Oh, so how many of these parties are there?
Oh, well, there's just like tons, and they're all different. Last year we had, what did we have? We had a tea party. I love tea parties. And we had dinner parties, and we had meditation party, and I don't know what else we had. Oh, we had a barbecue. We had all kinds of things. You know what?
What?
I should host a party, and we'll cook recipes from my cookbooks, and we can all bring our Barbie collections and compare them.
Oh, that's too bad. Sign-ups for the event have already been completed.
Oh, yes. And we're going to start the bidding on them next week. Yes, next week.
It's a silent auction, right? People write their bids on the form for each event, and then the highest bidder gets to go to the event, right?
Yes, and there's going to be 4 weeks of that, okay? 4 weeks of that. Now, I told them that silent auction is okay for this kind of thing, but it's kind of boring. So on the last week, we're all going to stay after. We're just going to run around in a flurry of last-minute bidding. It's so fun.
I see. I hear there's a couple of special auctions as well.
Oh, yes. Right in the middle, on May 17th, we're going to have a live auction, because they're more fun, of 2 special items, but we're going to keep them a secret until then.
And the most important thing about each event...
Portion control.
No, I was thinking maybe more like, say, having fun and building community.
Oh, well, who couldn't have fun with this amazing group of people? Come on!
So, Richard, what's next?
Well, next, I don't know what's next. Oh, next, we all have to move our buns and get out our calendars.
Because we're going to be bidding on all of these special events next week. So be sure to bring your calendars and get your bids ready for all the Gourmet for God events.
Yay, Gourmets for God!
I was wrong. I got a new dish. Okay, so, all right. I have the affirmation for today. You all have the affirmation for today in your nice little handout. I will I will say it first. You will see it on the big screen and you will repeat after me. So, I am aware of love's presence within me and all others. I relax and surrender to the unconditional love of my inner child. I experience and express love in all actions. Love is my true purpose and ultimate reality. And so it is. Okay, ready? I am aware. I relax and surrender to the unconditional love of my inner child. I experience and express love in all actions. Love is my true purpose and ultimate reality. And so it is.
Thank you, Michael. And now, please welcome another Michael, Mr. Garamoni.
If this life is one act, why do we lay all these traps? We put them right in our path when we just want to be free. I will not waste my days making up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I know I don't know, and I know I'll only do this by living in the moment. I'm living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home, living in the moment. I'm letting myself off the hook for things I've done. I let my past go past, and now I'm having more fun. I'm letting go of the thoughts that do not make me strong, and I believe this way can be the same for everyone. And if I fall asleep, I know you'll be the one who'll always remind me to live in the moment. I'm living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I can't walk through life facing backwards. I tried more than once to just make sure, and I was denied the future I'd been searching for. But I spun around and hurt no more by living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living the moment. I'm living my life, just taking it easy, with peace in my mind. I've peace in my heart, got peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment. I'm living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home, living in the moment.
Michael Garamoni. And now, please welcome back Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Michael, that is one of my favorite songs. I have Jason Mraz on my iPhone, and I know it's one of our members' favorite songs as well. So, here's the thing I just want to say about that is sometimes we feel discouraged or lost or unsupported or unloved, but the universe is always showing us how much we're loved, always showing us by the right song choice, by turning on the radio exactly at the right time, by seeing something that reminds us that we're not our bodies, that we're more than anything that we can conceive, that the self of us, the truth of us, is eternal and infinite and free. So, yes, it's a new month, a new theme, and the theme is A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson's seminal book, taken from the Course in Miracles. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about that, because those of you who are reading the book and reading and hearing Science of Mind, well, gosh, it sounds like it's not quite the same thing. You're absolutely right. It isn't the same thing. The Course in Miracles is a channeled book, but it's a book filled with wisdom. It surprises you how much wisdom there is. I purchased the Course in Miracles way before Science of Mind. I remember I was probably in my early 30s, and there's yet a third book, which I've misplaced. But this is the text. This is the student workbook. And this is how it begins. After it tells you the 100, it says this. This is a course in miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened, and 2, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Wow. So you've heard most of those ideas right here, or from other metaphysical teachers. I'm certain Ernest Holmes was not familiar with the Course. His definition of ego is completely different from the Course in Miracles definition. But I'm very fond of the poem that begins The Science of Mind, so much so that it's the first 2 lines on our entry wall. Peace be unto thee, stranger, Ernest says. Enter and be not afraid. I have left the gate open, and thou art welcome to my home. There is room in my house for all. I have swept the hearth and lighted the fire. The room is warm and cheerful, and you will find comfort and rest within. The table is laid, and the fruits of life are spread before thee. The wine is here also, it sparkles in the light. I have set a chair for you, and the sunbeams dance through the shade. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit and drink the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome. All is yours, and you are welcome. It's a compulsory course, but when you take it, it's up to you. Do you see it's the same thing? It's the same thing is that there is only one life. That life we say is God's life. That life is love. It indwells us and surrounds us, and when we awaken to it, we live our lives from the place of oneness, of unity, of freedom from fear, and total grace. People have been, where I was last week, I was in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. That's where my mom lives and my oldest sister. And well, I was there because my mom is making her transition very slowly. And there's so much about that. She's in palliative care in a hospital, a wonderful hospital in Saskatoon, with the best care you can imagine. The nurses, the occupational therapists, everyone is so kind, so compassionate, so caring. It's exactly the right place for her. When we noticed that she was getting a sore on her back, they changed her bed to one of those pressure beds that make it easier for someone. She has not been out of bed for 2 weeks. She's very frail, and thy will be done. You and I do not know what that means. How long? The doctor says weeks, months, probably not years. So when someone is not taking in nutrition, and anyway, so that's where I've been. And people ask me, how am I? That's how I am. Sometimes I remember who I am. Sometimes I remember that I am God's love, I am God's grace, and I can minister wherever I am. And sometimes I forget. And I guess that's the human experience, isn't it? Sometimes we all forget that we have the power of life in us. We have God's love not only surrounds us, it indwells us. It's our gift that we give. It's our gift that we give to ourselves and to others. And actually, this is a wonderful place to come from after just discussing Louise Hay's wonderful work. You can heal your life, and then to come to a return to love. So today's message is entitled Hell, God, and You. And it could be a great topic, couldn't it? Hell, God, and You. Hell. And actually, these are just the titles of her first 3 chapters of this book, A Return to Love. Hell, God, and You. So what is hell? Ernest Holmes says it's the belief in separation. It's a belief that there's something other than God. And Marianne Williams says, anytime you're in fear, you're in hell. If you are living in fear, if you're afraid, then you are experiencing hell. Now, last Saturday, springtime in Saskatchewan, Canada, and there was no snow, it was green, getting green, the buds were just beginning. It's, of course, not like here, just beginning to you see the winter going and the summer coming. And then we had 11 inches of snow. 11 inches, just to say, oh, you think you've got it? No. 11 inches of snow. And thankfully, my younger sister was there too, because I don't drive in that kind of snow that's ice and slush, and I'm too inexperienced. It's been too long since I was able to do that. So we worked as a really good team. My whole family was there at times. So both my brothers, both my sisters, me, and that in itself was very good. So hell. Sometimes 11 inches of snow feels like hell. But right, it's like, what do I do now? I have no clothes. You have a sister. You'll be fine. Your feet will dry, you know. So hell, the belief in separation, the experience of fear. I'm reading a really powerful book right now. It was the thing I could do in order to go to sleep. Or when mom was sleeping while we were waiting for her to open her eyes again. And it's called The Arenda. It's the story of early, I guess, America, Canada. It's about the Hurons, the French traders, and particularly the French priests, and a young Iroquois girl. It's told from all 3 perspectives. And I could see hell in so much of what I was reading about the need for retribution, the need to take revenge. And I thought about, well, that was the way it was. And of course, this is a funny part. The priest was just so surprised that these he called savages. The savages wouldn't even pick up a stick to discipline their children. He said they never laid a hand on them. They let them do whatever they wanted, and the children were happy and free. So from the priest's point of view, that was the wrong action. And we know from history that once those priests got hold of those children, they did indeed abuse them with discipline that in an earlier time was the way for all of us, in an earlier time where the Bible said, spare the rod and spoil the child. And now we know that's hell. It's hell to be giving that kind of discipline, to think that that is necessary. And yet, culturally, we evolve. Ultimately, it's all good, but there's certainly times that we can see this doesn't look good. This place we're in right now doesn't look good. How can we ignore the experiences in Baltimore? And our spiritual leader, Dr. Ken Gordon, wrote a wonderful essay about that. And for us to learn that in this life, not just America, but in this life, we human beings are called to respect and love one another. David Alexander, one of my colleagues that some of you have met, because he spoke here, said the issue is that these are unheard peoples and unseen peoples. And until they're heard, there's going to be a way for that longing to come about. And it may not please us. It may frighten us. And yet, that's hell. So let's talk about God for a moment. So what is God? God is love. That's God's nature. Right here, right now, God is love. God is love, giving us what we need in the very moment we need it. If we'd but open our eyes, open our ears, we'll hear it. A palliative chaplain came along while I was in hospital visiting my mom, and she was just so wonderful. And I know several people that I'm looking at out here have done that chaplaincy work at hospitals, and how important it is to be heard and seen and to be prayed with. And she left us some material about anticipatory grieving, and I probably have, but I couldn't remember having heard that term before, where you know someone's slipping away or is dying, either by disease or whatever, and you're anticipating. And so there's anticipatory grief, which is a kind of grief that's often denied. So speaking of God, she left a little story as well, and this is the story. In the world of nature, which we can always learn from, there were water bugs. And in this village of water bugs, they were all happy, and they were living, and they were very happy. And they'd notice that sometimes one of them would crawl up the stalk and disappear. And so one of those little water bugs said, I'll tell you what, if I ever crawl up that stalk, I'm going to come back, because I know everybody wants to know what happens to me. What happens to those water bugs? So one day he found himself climbing up the stalk, and sure enough, he popped through. And then his body changed. He grew a long tail, and he could feel wings growing. And he still knew the same thing he knew as a water bug, but now as a dragonfly, he could not pierce the water. And he realized it was impossible to go back and tell the others that he was not only okay. Imagine, it's like the caterpillar and the butterfly. Now this new creation has so much more to give. I believe that that's us. That story is us, about physically, about life and death, but it's also us about changes. It's also us about when things change, when we lose someone because of divorce, or something else changes. And yet that dragonfly is attempting to emerge. That butterfly wants to spread its wings as you. And there is what we need to come to the awareness of, regardless of how unhappy we are about the changes in our lives, that God is present at every single moment, in every single change. And God's grace fills us. None of us have the answer for anyone else, but each one of us has our own answers. Each one of us knows what's the next step for us. What's the next way for us to spread our wings? Where's our next place of being? So, God, the one life, Ernest Holmes, the whole Science of Mind textbook is dedicated to for you, for the reader, to develop an awareness of God greater than a presence in the sky looking down and judging us or rewarding us. It's dedicated for us to expand our conscious awareness of what this thing is that's life itself, what it is. God, that creator, that protector, that source of all, the creative process, both in the individual and in the universe. God. It's the greatest word I can think of. And then we come to you or me, the individual. Every single spiritual system says something like to remember that this thing that God is loves us and expresses through us. We can only receive as much as we are open to. As much grace, as much good, as much beauty and joy. So how open are you? Marianne talks about the Holy Spirit. She really lays it all out in the intro to her book. She tells about how her life was, and many of us, she's 63 now, so many of us of that era have experienced similar things where no matter how hard we tried, nothing ever felt like it was good enough. There was something else that we needed to do, some other accomplishment, some other relationship, some other job, some other experience. She tells about how she went from therapy to therapy, and she even could see and say, well, I am not that. But she didn't feel her wholeness until she started studying the Course in Miracles and realized that what she'd been trying to do, and I know I was there, and probably some of you maybe are or were, where you were trying to do it all yourself. You heard God was in you, and so, damn it, I'm going to go forward anyway. I'm going to set my goals. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. Yes, you have to have a goal, you have to have a vision so that God can work through, but it really means you need to welcome that presence of God in you, to say yes to it, and to say thank you for it. She calls it the Holy Spirit. I call it God. Ernest calls it God or Spirit or Divine Mind. I mean, he's got hundreds of words for this thing itself. And whatever your favorite word is, that's great. Whatever your word is. So you are one with that thing itself. And when you're struggling she calls it the ego, and we're also going to, one of our books later on this year is Eckhart Tolle. And Eckhart Tolle also uses ego in this way. Ernest doesn't. Ernest says ego is important, but he doesn't give it the negative connotation that Marianne gives it. Marianne gives it, ego is the part of us that denies that we're bigger than our circumstances. It's the part of us that wants to be the star, wants to show off. It isn't the humble part. And I'm not sure whether I believe you can still have that connection with source and be always so positive. I said this morning, Mary asked me how I was, and I said, I feel so incapable, unequal to ministering this morning. So I'm just telling you the truth. I'm doing my best. I did my work as far as I could do it, but I'm feeling like the Holy Spirit I need to accept that greater good right here, right now, and let it flow through me. So, who are you? Made in the image and likeness of God. You're created. You are creator of your world. You don't do it by yourself because you're not separate from. That presence of God is not only surrounds you, is you, and it's every other being. She makes a big point of saying all people are aspects of the one. And so when I look at someone, I'm not seeing them, I'm seeing a part of me. And that's a really good way to look at life. How then could I judge anyone else? How could I judge anyone else? Because that person I'm looking at is an aspect of me. The person you're looking at, well, I'm not, if you're looking at me, of course, but when you look at each other, that is a part of you. The ones you know and the ones you don't know. The ones who are here and the ones who aren't here, all are a part of you. It's a powerful idea. And how could it be different if we're one in that one life? So, hell, we can choose hell or we can choose heaven. And so what would heaven be if hell is feeling separated from God or feeling fear? Heaven is simply knowing that I'm loved and living in that place of love, living in this place of love. Besides reading my novel, I did, to explain, when I'm in Canada, I get texts, I get phone calls. When I'm away from Wi-Fi, I cannot afford to do any other social media because it's way too expensive, $2.05 a minute or something. It's like, anyway, so it would be at home at night that I read my Facebook. And so many of you wrote on my Facebook page that you're thinking of me, that you're sending prayers to my mother. I read those, every single word, to my sisters, my brothers, or my sisters and brothers if they were there. We appreciate it so much because we know we're not alone. We're surrounded by love. I decide to live in heaven even when there is struggle, even when there's divorce, even when there's dismay, no matter what is going on. My conscious intention is to live in love. I hope you join me. I hope you join me to live in love. Love, first of all, for yourself. Remember, I approve of myself. My brother was in my car with me, and I went right through a red light. Yeah, I was not conscious. I was not awake, but gratefully I was protected because the people that could have smashed right into me were waiting for me to go through that red light. Thank you, God. To approve of yourself, to love yourself, regardless of what's happening. And to minister to each other in the best way you know how. And the best way I know how is prayer. So if Diane will start, I'm going to pray in the first person, I believe. I was prayed in such a beautiful way, the way I was taught. I am opening to your love. 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 Safe in your heart, safe in your arms, safe in your heart, safe in your arms. I am opening to your love. I am opening to your love. And opening to that love, I remind myself that there is God and nothing else. I remind myself that this one power that is everywhere present is in and through and as all creation. That this one life that is God's life is whole, complete, and perfect in every way. I remind myself that I am one with that life. And I speak this word for each one here and for everyone everywhere. I speak it in the first person, knowing that there is only that one life. I know that I am loved. I know that I am safe, that I'm held in the arms of the beloved, and that one presence lifts me up, raises me up. I know that my soul is pure. It's pure love. My connection with God and life is pure love, regardless of the circumstances, the conditions, the experiences. What I know is that God brings comfort. God brings meaning, comfort for those in anticipatory grief and those grieving, for anyone who is dealing with loss or change. I know God is there guiding, holding up, raising up. What I know is that this divine presence that is love itself is my essence and my legacy. It is the gift I bring, and it is the presence, the power. I know in this very moment that I am enough. I know in this very moment that the presence of God in me is a blessing to me, to my friends, to my family, to my loved ones, to all of the people around me, whether I know them or not. What's more, I know that this divine life will have its way by means of me. And so I listen to the yearnings of my heart and I say yes. I listen to the deep, deep awareness of God's presence. I steadfastly let go of anxiety or fear and live in the present moment in freedom and love. I steadfastly release any kind of hellish thoughts or lack of freedom and open my wings and fly free. No one else's opinions, no matter who they are, matter. In this moment, only the awareness of the divine in me. I'm always guided to the right words to say, the right actions to take, and the right thoughts to think. One with that presence, I know that my life is blessed and is a blessing, and I'm so very grateful for all of it. In this moment, I let my heart fill with gratitude for all the blessings that life brings, has brought and brings, for life itself, for the power of prayer. And with my heart filled with gratitude, I simply release this word to the action of law. It is complete. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
Love, love changes everything. Hands and faces, earth and sky. Love, love changes everything. How you live and how you die. Love can make the summer fly, or a night seem like a lifetime. Yes, love, love changes everything. Now I tremble at your name. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Love, love changes everything. Days are longer, words mean more. Love, love changes everything. Joy is deeper than before. Love will turn your world around, and that world will last forever. Yes, love, love changes everything, brings you glory, brings you fame. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Off into the world we go, planning futures, shaping years. Love bursts in and suddenly all our troubles disappear. Love brings joy to everyone, and that joy will lift us higher. Yes, love changes everyone. Live and cherish in its flame. Love will never, never let you be the same. Love will never, never let you be the same.
Thank you, Michael.
That was one of my favorites, Michael. Nana Muscuri was the person I heard. Does anyone know who that is besides me? She's a Greek singer, and that's who I listened and listened and listened in the early 90s or late 80s. She was just amazing. And you did it justice. That was just a beautiful song and tremendous. It's time for, we're greatly blessed that you're a friend of ours. It's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. So if the stewards would come forward. So what I just want to say, first of all, is a reminder that your gift, your giving, is an expression of God. It's an expression of the divine. Whether you give a penny or $1,000, it's the same expression when you give with love. So it's one of the reasons I always say we give with love, and we love to give. And let's actually say that together. We give with love, and we love to give. Knowing God is my source, I am safe where I am. I know that I am enough. And there is enough. And so it is. Bless those baskets.
Letting go of fear, throw it all away. Nothing left but the dream. Grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be. And if I'd end up happy, I would pray. Trying hard to reach out, but when I tried to speak out, felt like no one could hear me. Wanted to belong here, but something felt so wrong there, so I prayed I could break away. I spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun. But I won't forget all the ones that I love. Gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change and break away. Finding what awakes my soul, looking for what makes me whole, searching for my spirit to take me. I gotta keep moving on, fly away, break away out of fear, and I'll spread my wings and I'll
It's not easy to tell you goodbye. Gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change and break away out of the darkness and out of the fear. But I won't forget all the ones I hold dear. Gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change and fly away. Fly away. Fly away like the dragonfly away. Thank you, and let's welcome the Kidlets. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.